Second clap. What's going on, man? This is Talk Junkies. Last week, welcome. I got Jesse here, Johnny in the house again. Last week we tried to do a podcast. It just failed, basically. We're not going to say why or what happened, but it happened.
Things.
Yeah.
Life, man.
Shit happens, you know?
It does. I want to give a shout out to my cousin Emily. I think she's 12 years old, and she put a comment on our last video, Jesse, that we did, and she said, "Hey, give me a shout out." So shout out Emily. Love you,
Emily,
my cousin.
Dope.
Yeah,
Emily, Paul's cousin. There you go.
Yeah,
shout out all day. Keep watching.
Hey, so I want to get into something crazy, man, and maybe not too crazy, but have you guys heard about China's social credit system?
Not at all.
Explain that.
Okay. So basically, they started this in the year 2014, and they want to implement it fully by the year 2020. So basically, I don't know how the app works or how like the internals work towards this. I'd have to do some more research. But basically, they could do things like banning you from flying or getting on a train. So if, let's say, you do something in the airport, like they have a smoking zone and a non-smoking zone, and you smoke in the non-smoking zone, you get deducted off your social credit, and you'll no longer be able to get a flight. You'll no longer be able to fly in China.
Wait, why?
Because they have a social credit program now.
So you're rating amongst who?
So basically like a credit score, but on your social activities, not your financial.
Well, so here's another instance. Banning you or your kids from the best schools. 17 people who refused to carry out military service last year were barred from enrolling in higher education, applying for high school, or continuing their studies. In July, a Chinese university denied an incoming student his spot because the father had a bad social credit score.
I mean, okay, just saying. I understand punishing the father for like failing to uphold his duty. I don't know how it works over there, but like over here we have selective service and stuff, the draft and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I don't believe in the whole sins of the father carry over to the son. Like, to me, that's messed up. It shouldn't affect the kid at all.
No, not in any way, shape, or form. But is this the program itself? That's unjust, I feel like.
No, yeah. No, just in general, that's unjust. It's not going through a court of law. So you're not being punished by a sense of crimes, and in some sense you are not being this individual who is like, oh, you've done wrong and you've been in front of your peers kind of thing, and then now we can have some fucking like thing that now we can say that, oh, maybe you shouldn't fucking have some shit. It's way different.
No, I agree with that 100%.
It depends on what you're getting marked off for. Like, I agree, but it depends on what you're getting marked off for. Because if you're marked off for the whole like not upholding the military thing or whatnot, I kind of get that. But if you really, like a second ago you said smoking in a non-smoking zone, if that's real and that allows you to not be able to fly for like a year or whatever because of your social credit thing that they've got going on, then yeah, that's real fucked up.
So check this out. Okay, and so China has already started punishing people by restricting their travel. 9 million people with low scores have been blocked from buying tickets for domestic flights, citing official statistics. They can also clamp down on luxurious options. 3 million people are barred from getting business class train tickets.
Yeah, see, that's pretty messed up. I guess it would also depend, how did they get barred? What actually happened?
True.
Like what
But
caused
9 million people,
that's
though?
insane.
Yeah, that's a lot. I could understand if it was like 100 or 250 people that did some serious crime that wouldn't be able to do it, or even 1,000 or 2,000, but 9 million?
Yeah, I can't think of, that'd have to be some low tier shit then, because it's not like 9 million people murdered someone and now you can't get on a flight. Like, they probably did some small tier stuff that should not cause them to not be able to do that.
They can throttle your internet speeds based on your social credit. They can keep you out of the best hotels, getting your dog taken away.
Yeah, that's real messed up. That's government way too much control.
Being publicly named as a bad citizen.
Way too much control.
Have you seen Black Mirror at all? They had like an episode like that.
There's pretty much almost every episode is based upon that.
I actually know that episode. It's called Nosedive.
Yeah.
And you go around, and every time, for just quick one, the episode, you go around and everybody's got their phone on them all the times, and every time you've got like a thing, like a contact lens. So when you and I have a conversation, right after that conversation, phone pops up and asks you to rate that conversation. You basically rate it 4 stars or 5 stars or 3 stars, like how our interaction was people. And now your contact lens, when you walk around and see people, everyone has a rating. So they're like, sorry, you can't get into this country club because you've only got a rating of 3.4 because your social interactions aren't that good because you're not good with other people.
And you need a 4 point.
And people don't like you, and you need your
Yeah.
4.2.
Right.
It's real messed up.
The ending, I like the ending of that episode. It was the chick went crazy.
No, and it makes some good points about like how we actually should be living our life. I mean, you should care what people think to a degree. Like, don't go out and you shouldn't care what people think for the most part. Like, live your life how you want to live your life, but don't go out and just be a slob and do meth and a whole bunch of shit and be like, oh, I don't care what people think. I'm just gonna do meth.
Why not? Why not? I mean, like, why the fuck not?
if you're not affecting someone else's life, of course why
Okay.
not?
How at some point, how much do you think that an individual or the majority have things right? How much does the majority have things right to say that, oh, this is the standard, whenever the standard changes so often?
No,
Look
I get that.
Look at what the standard was for individuals back 100 years ago. Way different than right now, right?
Oh yeah.
So what you're saying is that you're impervious to fucking, any kind of like outside influence, and we really fucking have it right, and we really need to judge these individuals because what we have is right and true, and our morality is fucking right and true, and our everything is like fucking right and true. And anybody outside of that now needs to be harshly fucking judged to an extent.
No, I don't believe that in one sense.
But that's what this system implicates.
100%.
You cannot fucking do that shit. At some point, you have to sit back and look like, man, I probably don't have it right. My grandfathers didn't have it right.
9 million people?
For plane tickets, correct.
How's there not a revolt?
I mean, China's population is
And how does that not affect money?
2 billion or something like that.
Like looking at
20% of the population.
9 million people is still a lot of people.
Doesn't that
though.
affect money? Like, aren't you losing money on that whole ordeal?
Not when you have a 1.5 billion population. They have 20% of the world's population. So when you're talking 9 million people, they don't even care at this point. They're just doing their thing.
That's still like, I can't like what you're telling me. I can't believe it's true. I legitimately can't believe we've reached that point in society.
We've done some podcasts on China, how crazy they are, man. It's insane.
But how do people not like? I know it's hard to stand up to your government. It's super hard. It's almost impossible these days. You can't just like start a revolt or a revolution or whatever. But like, it's got to get to a point where.
Well, in France they are right now.
Yellow vest
protests.
Yeah, but you can't just let them control your total. Like, we let some freedom slide. The fact that like little stuff like you can't collect rainwater and shit like that. Like, we let that shit slide when we really shouldn't. But there's some shit you can't let slide, like barring people based on their social interactions with other people and stuff like that. That's real fucked up.
I know. And people think that it's slowly happening here.
But what's weird is we actually implement this within our own system, just not as aggressively. You see people who have, so like a sex offender, right?
Right.
Somebody who has child pornography or whatever. It actually happened on my street.
Oh, yeah.
I heard about that.
Aaron was talking about that the other day. That's crazy.
Actually happened on my street. And then immediately
on my street.
On literally on the road that I live on.
Yeah.
Some guy was caught with child pornography. And at some point you have to all of a sudden put in a stipulation to say, man, you need to red flag this individual. And he needs to no longer be able to do certain things. Like, that's a very easy given for us.
But even then, like, they make it, I mean, not the average person is smart enough to think, hey, I'm just going to look at all the sex offenders. You can download that app and see everyone who lives near you.
You can see exactly who's near you that's a sex offender.
But how often do people do that?
Now, how are you able to refine that to where all of a sudden now you can say, oh, man, this person drives too fast. And we can calculate his shit because he has an app and he has his phone on him, and we know through this fucking app that, man, he just drives too fast. We need to take away his license.
He's always speeding.
He's always speeding. He's always speeding. Tickets won't do the work. He's always going 5 miles over the speed limit everywhere.
Your phone already knows how fast you're going. Google's got all that information.
So now you need to refine it to where, man, you need to be limited to where you can't even drive a car anymore. Like, at what point do you refine it? Because there is a line. There is a line somewhere to where the access of freedom should be allowed, for, you might do some shit wrong, but man, you're fucking doing shit with little kids. That's clearly not okay. And especially when it comes on a social level to where you have these of a peer level saying, hey, you know, man, you're just introverted as fuck, man. And you, man, I feel like you're sketchy. I feel like you could do some weird shit. Are you trained in any level of expertise to be able to physically, or I'm sorry, psychologically diagnose this individual to where you could say, oh man, this dude doesn't need to be on a plane, or this dude doesn't need to do this. That's where it's misconstrued. People's opinions are so highly held when they know nothing about literally nothing, and that's what they're talking about.
I know, I agree. Yeah,
it's a whole bunch of I feel passionate about something I know nothing on, but I'm fucking vocal and I'm passionate, so you get that restriction comes in.
Yeah,
because of the majority opinion of people who literally know nothing about anything, not spend a minute reading a single book on the matter.
And that's the thing, like, people get emotional, and whenever you're in the heat of the moment, and that's what humans do, they're very emotional, you can't base someone off of emotion. I've made so many mistakes in life based off emotion, you know, and you learn from that and you're able to grow from that. But if you're going to affect someone and what they can do in their life based on emotion, I just completely disagree with that, and a lot of what China does.
I think we all agree on this, is that that's real fucked up. Like, I don't think there's a single one of us rooting for that, being like, yeah, this is a system we should switch over to. We should totally throttle people's cars and make sure that when they buy a new car, we have to put something in here where they can only go 60 miles an hour because Google says they speed too much. Like, that's insane.
Yeah. Is it called Orwellian? It's an Orwellian state, is what Mike Pence called it in October of last year.
No, and it was a warning to us, not a guideline to what society should have been. It was a warning saying we need to stray away from this.
Right.
Well, I don't think anybody took it as a guideline. I think everybody took it as a warning.
But look at how it is now. Like, George Orwell literally wrote a book that nearly everybody had to fucking read. Like, I'm pretty sure it was my sophomore year of high school that I had to read 1984. And everybody here knows 1984. And it was very heavily Big Brother. Now, we need to make sure that you're safe by making sure that you don't make any bad decisions. And the second you stray away from this like general consensus of what is socially appropriate, that now you're punished and you're, excommunicated from society, and and then now everything's okay again. When actually the people that test humanity and challenge it are the ones that develop it the most.
Yeah.
To begin with. Yeah. The second you have these individuals and you just like, oh, I don't agree with you. Get the fuck away from me. They're actually the most developmental, because you can either take them in and you could say, I apply what you're saying, to what I already believe, and it either strengthens what I believe, and now I need to have a conversation with you about, what it takes to be on my mental level or what your mental level is. And then you have this whole fucking conversation. It either strengthens or weakens certain arguments to an extent. But the second you decide this is taboo, we cannot even allow this in a society. Now it's punishable by some kind of imprisonment or death or whatever it is. Now what you're doing is suppressing somebody else's viewpoint. And to say that we have it perfect now is absurd.
Yeah, we're nowhere close to it.
Because everything fucking changes. Morality fucking changes. Everything. Politics will change. Fucking people write new fucking shit that is what society's fucking guidelines is, or whatever the fuck it is. Everything fucking changes. So to say that, oh man, we got to write right now. I
don't think anyone's saying that that we got it right, especially in America. Obviously, the Chinese think that they have it right based upon what they're doing.
No, that sounds like it.
And I'm with Johnny. I'm like, how have they not revolted in any way, shape, or form?
I think you're also, Jesse, you're saying, like, people are saying, oh, we've got it right now. Nobody's saying that, or a very small percentage, 1% is saying that. I don't think the masses are saying, oh, yeah, everything's good the way it is. We should totally ban people from being on planes for smoking in the non-smoking section. We should totally limit 9 million people from being able to get tickets because they don't fit the norm. I don't think the average Joe is saying anything like that. I just don't think the average Joe also has any kind of effect or fight against that.
Right. And that's the thing. And the only way to have effect or fight against that is to do it in masses. And that's the hardest thing to do nowadays, is because they've literally created everything to be so easy for us. Back in the early 1900s or the late 1800s, you didn't have all these necessities, or not necessities, but you didn't have all these perks. You didn't have a house that had heating and cooling. You didn't have a toilet that could flush. You didn't have all the things. We have all these things now. So if we start letting stuff slide, like you talked about, like not being able to collect rainwater or get fined for stuff like that, you let that slide because, man, I can take a shit, I can flush it. It's really hot outside, but I go inside and it's 70 degrees. Like, those are the things, like, we're okay with it. They've built this thing around us to where we let things slide because we enjoy what we have. I feel like that's the difference from the early 1900s to now. That's my opinion.
Not only that, but I also feel like we as individuals feel like we have no, I mean, I'll admit, I feel like I have no effect on the higher ups. Unless I were to get with a group of 9 million other people and actually revolt and actively do that, I have no effect on that. If our government were to right this second change and do the exact same thing China's doing, the fuck am I going to do? How do I have a say in it? We're not a true democracy.
There's a lot of like-minded people like us. I feel like if something like that were to happen, I mean, and
hopefully enough people would stand up.
Well, I would hope so. But you have to look in France, and that's a great example. Like we talked about the Yellow Vest, it started with a Facebook group. You know, one person created a Facebook group, and then look what it turned into. So it starts with one person.
Yeah, the problem is they could totally just shut down that Facebook group too.
Yeah, but it's already past the point.
Oh, I know, but I'm
for
saying,
that instance, for us, yeah. That it's true.
With what they're able to monitor and everything, they could easily stop that before it starts, which is also the scary part.
Yeah, it's very true as well. Oh, it's crazy, man. That shit is crazy.
Kind of wanted to get. I might stray away from it. Do you want to have another another topic, or
yeah, let's do it.
Keep on with it.
No, let's switch topics.
You doing your little 10-minute thing you're talking about, or not?
I like this as part of the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to go back to what we were talking about earlier, just real quick, to say that another individual who is so high up, right, and feels that they have so much more effect than you, and now you feel less of a person or of influence than they are. Let me ask you this. Where do they come from?
Where does that person come from?
Yeah, where does that person come from?
Probably from the government.
No. Like, roll everything back. Where does the individual that has been put in a position of power in all that, where do they come from?
Most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, I would say like a good family with people who already have say-so. You know what I mean?
I'm going to talk more
people
on
who already have influence.
Okay. So I'm going to talk more on a just generally where do humans come from. We don't know, like we were just birthed into the world, right? Very, very innocent, and we came into the world just like anybody else. Came into the world very innocent, just like these people.
So where does that idea come from? Where is it?
So now, given the circumstance and their decisions in life, and given their birthright to certain things, which I think is where they get their privilege from, is a lot of birthright scenario. But where they came from is the same as me, Paul, and Johnny. Same way. We were birthed into this world very fucking innocent human beings, right?
Yeah.
Guess where we'll end up?
In the ground.
In the same fucking spectrum as those individuals. We end up in the same place. And with that being said, I think the playing field is always leveled out. And I think the magnitude of a financial system or a government fucking system or whatever's happening and putting in place to where, society says that this is what it actually is we all start up very innocent. We all are birthed into this world very innocent. Nobody likes to see babies being hurt because babies are innocent. Where we die is in the same fucking state that all those fucking people die. No matter what your arc is in fucking life, guess where you end up? Yeah. You started the same as me, you, every other person on this fucking planet.
Sure.
Started.
So what about it?
So now you are
I don't know what you're getting at.
Yeah,
so why the fuck is it so much important to fucking be worried about all of these structured fucking things that they put into place? Why is that so fucking important to an individual?
I feel like without
whenever you end up the same way.
Without having those people, we wouldn't be where we are now. I don't feel like.
No, the greatest minds fucking understood it. The greatest philosophers understood that we start from one place, like how everybody else starts, and we end up in the same place as everybody else.
I don't quite understand the point you're trying to make.
He's just. I think
I'm trying to explain the level playing field, that these people are not fucking any different. To say that you're.
I didn't say they were different.
I know, but
He's
in a
just
weird way
asking
they have
why.
more effect. So by their birthright, right?
Not always their birthright, but I mean,
basically through where they're born in a time and place. I don't want anybody to ever think that you are less than any one of these individuals, because everybody is given the same time, the same origin, and the same end that all of these people will experience. And it's what you do with the time that is here that is most and fucking important. So you know, that's all I wanted to get at. That's all I wanted to say.
all right, good point. What you got, Paul?
I agree in some point, but at the same time, I feel like in order for people to progress, and in order for society to progress, in order for us to have these massive buildings in this beautiful place we call Earth, for it to develop in a human aspect, I think we have to have people with structure and people to come up with ideas on how to govern people. We're always going to have people governing people. I mean, you look at third world countries; they're not governed at all, really. And if they are, it's mismanaged.
I mean, they are.
They're
There's,
slums.
warlords and all that.
Yeah.
Like,
But I think what we end up doing, and I think, and maybe I misplaced this whenever I said it, was I want everybody to understand that we are all given the same thing. And that these are not individuals who are enlightened or above you or have better understanding of shit. You can always fucking read some shit. You can always fucking look into shit yourself and create your own opinion and become your own colossus of fucking idea and structure the world around you the way that you want it to. They do not have a say in what is happening, because everybody plays on the same.
they do. They do to a degree.
On the same fairground.
What if they say you can't fly, Jesse?
Then okay.
They have told you that before, right?
But you shouldn't have that mentality.
have
This is
they,
what I'm
though?
saying. You should not have that mentality that these people, these structure of, oh man, he's always going to be better than me because look at the family he was born into. Fuck that fucking shit. You were given the same opportunity. You have the same amount of hours in a fucking day. You're going to die just like how he's going to fucking die. Well, not the same way,
Yeah, I
but you
get
know
that.
he's going
I'm
to
not
die
saying-
one day.
I'm
You
not
were
saying-
born you were born into this world just as that person was born into the fucking world.
Okay, you're
You can
you're
make
repeating
this
yourself
life.
now. I'm not
Yeah.
missing the point here. I'm not trying to say that there are other people who are better or whatever. Like, I realize we're all given the same opportunity and whatnot. What I'm saying, though, is given the opportunity, some people took that opportunity and moved up. Some people didn't. But now the people who have moved up, whether you want to accept it or not, do have a direct influence on your life. They can literally say, Jesse, you can't go to this place. You can't do it. You're not allowed. You are not free.
You should never take that into account because
What do you mean you should never take that into account?
you are just like them.
Yeah, that's
So how is their voice that much more fucking vocal than yours? Than your own?
I'm not saying they're more important. I'm not saying they're more vocal or anything. I'm saying that they literally have an effect on what you can and can't do. They have an effect on your freedom.
Yeah, we've progressed to the point where we're past that conversation. I feel like to where
I'm sorry.
I understand.
I'm gonna went off on a rant.
I understand what you're saying. Was there something else you wanted to talk about? by
Just
chance?
basically, as an individual, don't ever fucking feel as though you're less of anything outside of society, because you are just like everybody else. You have the same fucking
Yeah, no, I don't
shit
think any
as
of us
everybody
were.
else.
I don't think any of us were saying
I
that.
don't want anybody to feel as though they fucking feel, oh, why try? Because everybody else is fucking, it's already fucking happening. Like, I have no chance because look at how they were born. Look at how they were born.
Yeah, I think-
and I have no fucking chance. No, fuck that shit.
Anyone with that type of mentality, I feel sorry for him. You know, and
So
I think
I think that's mainly what I wanted to get across.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know.
everyone hits rock bottom and probably feels that way. But at the same time, we're in America. We have any and every opportunity, what we're in. You know, obviously.
Oh yeah, and we've got it way better than a lot of places.
Yeah, we do. You know, so I think there are parts of that I agree with, parts that I disagree with, but I don't know, man. That's some deep shit, dude. Do you think that cars are just as worse as guns when it comes to death rates? Don't you
Yes.
think?
Yeah.
I think
absolutely.
I think statistics. I mean, I don't know off the top of my
Absolutely.
head, but I bet if you were to look it up, there's way more car accidents than there are gun accidents.
More people use cars on a higher volume every day than they use guns.
Do you think that should be a basis for the argument of gun control?
No.
I don't think cars.
not
No,
at all.
they don't correlate. They don't correlate in any way, shape, or form.
Right. What about
It could be pretty. It could be a pretty scenario that you could fucking, like, oh, look at,
You could make a graph and put them next to each other, but that doesn't mean that
what about a knife? You can put that in the same category as a gun, right?
What do you? I mean,
When it comes to like statistics on murder rates and stuff like that, like knives and shit and guns.
I guess I doubt they're
No.
keeping track of that as
No.
much.
Well,
No.
there's a country, I believe, somewhere in Europe where they banned all guns, or maybe it wasn't Europe. I think
Australia has banned all guns. It's
not all guns.
some-
They haven't actually. That's completely false. You can still get a permit and still own a firearm in Australia. It's still available. You can still do that. But what I'm saying is, I don't think it was Australia. That's what I'm talking about. But anyways, there's another country where they banned, I think it was the UK actually. But now they're having issues with knife deaths. And once they banned guns and took the guns from the people, knife crime went out through the roof.
Yeah, but do you think it's lower or higher than the gun crimes? I don't know. I'm just asking
I don't
your
need,
opinion here.
that's a good question. Yeah, that's a good question.
Just because if let's say,
but now they're trying to ban knives.
So what you're saying is people found a way to be shitty with giving a law. So a law came in and people still found a way to fucking be shitty and kill people, right?
Exactly.
Go fucking figure,
no
right?
way.
Yeah.
Oh, no fucking way.
I think regardless of the situation, we've already talked about gun control a little bit, but even if you were to ban guns in the United States, there's a lot of legislation going around in a lot of states. The states are trying to take control over, the gun aspect of their state, and they're trying to put in these laws and shit like that. And then you have these officers who are saying, I won't do it. Like I'll legitimately retire or quit before I implement any sort of gun or any gun restrictions towards my city or my county, which is a good thing. I'm glad there are officers out there that do that kind of stuff.
I might have a different view of like gun control than you guys do. I probably do have a different view. I don't think that they should be banned. I think we all agree on that fact.
Right.
I do think that it should be a little more strict on how
Yes.
you get a hold of them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because don't quote me on this. I don't know. Speaking out of my ass here, but I'm pretty sure me right now with I don't really have a record. I think I could go to Walmart, buy a shotgun right now if I wanted to.
Yeah.
For hunting.
No,
Yeah.
if it's past like 12 o'clock at night, you can. Or
Okay,
past 10
not
o'clock.
this.
But
not-
it takes
not right
time
now.
for
Sorry.
the whole
I could
process
go
to
tomorrow.
fucking come through anyway.
I could
Correct.
go tomorrow after work at
Correct.
6 p.m.
Correct.
and I might not be able to get it the day of.
Right.
I might not be able to
Because
get
they
it the day
do
of.
a background check.
They'll do a background check,
Right.
and then I'll be able to get that shotgun 2 weeks later. Whatever.
Any 18-year-old in America can do that.
Yeah. To me, and I don't know how you implement this because once again, this would be giving the government more control. Like, I'm not saying that I have the solution. By no means am I offering an alternative. It would take someone way smarter than me to come up with that. But I am saying I personally don't think that Johnny, should be able to go and buy that fucking shotgun.
But
I should be able to get a
do you-
shotgun.
do you-
Yes, I should be able to. But I don't think it should be that easy
Do
for
you
me.
agree with the Constitution, though? The Second Amendment, the right to bear arms.
The right to bear arms?
Right. And under any, and you can't infringe upon that either, right? So if that's the law that was in place, that you have to be 18, and when you're 18, you're able to basically, you can help your family.
The whole reason we did that was so that we can have a militia and not let the government get out of our control and all that.
and protect yourself.
Yes, and protect yourself, but also so that you could have a militia and not allow the government to become a tyranny or a
Right.
regime or whatever.
Correct.
But we've already surpassed that. They
Correct.
have-
Too late, right?
So
they
it's-
have
Like,
so
it's
much
too late,
Yeah,
right?
it
No,
is.
no, no.
So it's too late, right? So
Not
take away the guns.
Not
I'm
that
not
That's too
saying
late.
take away the guns.
No, not that. I think we're past the point. I see what you're saying. We're past the point of, everyone can buy guns. So if there were
Yeah.
ever to be a tyrannical government, we could still technically fight against that because we still have the right to bear arms.
I mean, we lose because I can't own a tank.
right. Well, and technically, we should be able to buy a tank within
Yeah.
the Second Amendment.
Yeah. But how crazy would it be if you owned a tank?
That'd be dope as fuck. I
Yeah,
think you
it'd be-
probably could. I think you could, but you have to buy permits for it. and you have to house it in a certain area and do all this and do all that.
I guess what I'm saying is there are certain people that I personally know. I'm not going to mention them by name, and it's nobody here, so you guys wouldn't know them either. It's like people that I met in college and stuff. There are people I know who own guns that I'm like, they should not have a gun.
No, I know somebody like that, actually.
I know people that own guns that I'm like,
I know somebody like that, too,
one.
where I'm like, you should not fucking own a gun.
But think about this. I mean, like when you're 18 and you graduate high school and your parents, and this isn't
Just
the case for
personal
everyone,
opinion.
but let's say you're 18, your parents kick you out and they make you move into your own place and you want to protect yourself, you should technically be able to protect yourself just as anyone should. Someone comes and tries to rob your house and you're not able to defend yourself.
I also, real quick before I forget this,
Right.
I realize how much I'm like also contradicting everything I said earlier at the same time, because I'm saying that I know someone who I'm like, you shouldn't own a gun. And this goes back to the whole 9 million people in China that they're like, you shouldn't fly.
Right.
Like we should have control over people's social actions. I look at someone and I socially judge them based
Doesn't
on
matter.
their life. And then I say, hey, you shouldn't have a gun. That's not right either. That's not right. For me, that goes, like I said, I'm literally just contradicting myself by saying that.
Same for me.
And
Same for
check
me.
this out, Johnny. There's a few states. There's like 7 states or maybe 17 states that implemented a red flag law, where if you're a neighbor of someone, and I talked about this in the podcast that Jesse and I did about gun control, they can legitimately, if you're my neighbor, Johnny, and I go to the police station, I say, hey, I don't think Johnny should own a firearm. He's going through some stuff right now, and I just make some shit up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I sound legitimate to the judge. The judge can then order the police officers to go to your house and confiscate your gun.
Yeah, see, and to me that's pretty fucked.
Yeah, there's states that do that now.
Like it's a catch-22. I literally when I started this conversation, like whenever I went off on my little thing here, I said I don't have a solution.
I don't think there is.
I have an idea. I have my beliefs of how I said I don't think I should be able to just go get a shotgun from Walmart or whatever. But at the same time, I don't have an answer. I don't have the solution.
Yeah, I don't either.
I
think the answer was well written way back in the day. Granted, they didn't know the scheme of things that would happen now, but I think it's a beautiful thing to have.
I will say something that and probably a lot of people will disagree with this, like a good amount. But we're and I was talking with Jesse about this the other day. A lot of people will probably disagree. So we're a very young country. We're only, 250 years old? I can't do math right now. 350 years old. Whatever. We're a young country, and we're so, we have such a hard-on for our Constitution, which that's not a problem, but we have such a hard-on for it because we're so young, and it still means so much to us because it's still fresh in our minds. 350 years is nothing or whatever. I probably keep messing up the math. But, time changes exponentially. We grow, technology evolves exponentially, society evolves exponentially. We talked about this the other day. 50 years back then, what happened progressively that took 50 years now takes 7 years.
Well, and there's
so laws should be changed. The Constitution should be updated. I'm not specifically saying guns. I'm not talking about the Second Amendment right now. I'm talking about just in general.
and they still do that. I mean, Congress still passes law and legislations for
I just
current
think
events.
but we have such a fucking hard on for don't infringe on my rights in the Constitution. It was written in the Constitution, and that's got to be locked in forever.
Well, what is said in the Constitution?
They don't even always teach cursive. One day we're not going to be able to read the original Constitution.
Right. But I think the core values of the Constitution are what are important.
Yes, yeah. I mean,
we the people, right?
I'm not religious, but
Correct.
the core values of the Bible are important. You shouldn't rape and murder people. You shouldn't steal
Right?
things.
Right?
This is, what a lot of the Constitution is based off of is probably the Bible. I mean,
And honestly, the right to bear arms is a Bill of Rights.
Yeah, my bad.
It's not even in the
Constitution.
It's not even in the Constitution. It's a Bill of Rights.
My point is, though, we as Americans have got such just
within the Constitution it says, and I only know this from National Treasure, where it says
where I get my advice is from
if
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, if the government all of a sudden now does not represent the majority of the people, you have every fucking right to fucking overthrow it, which is not the fucking case.
Yeah, I mean,
Not the
you
fucking
have
case.
a right, but good luck doing it.
No,
Yeah, true.
even though it's constitutionally backed for what could be seen as treason, right? It literally says you have every right, because that's what the U.S. government was based upon, was treason, right? It was treason. And they said if we did treason because we felt as a people and a majority saw things wrong with the English and I don't know if they called it tyranny or fucking whatever, taxes, whatever was happening. They said we had a right to fucking overthrow it and become our own fucking nation. So do our predecessors or the people before, or like the people that will come after us. It's not predecessors. That's the wrong word for it. But if there are people that come after us, and all of a sudden this system has become as corrupt, you have every right to fucking overthrow it. That is in the fucking Constitution.
Oh, yeah. 100%, but like Johnny said, good luck doing it.
Yeah. Good luck doing it.
You may have the right, but I guarantee you try to do it, even though it may be written in the Constitution that's not considered what do you call that? Not tyranny, traitorism, whatever. It's not considered being a traitor because you're following your constitutional rights and going with the majority against the government. They're still going to call you a traitor. They're still going to throw you in Guantanamo Bay. Like
okay.
The status quo will be
are we still talking guns?
No. I mean, we're kind of evolved into the Constitution. I feel like, but
just man, I don't want to. Okay, if you've already fucking segued into something else, I
don't want to go into gun control because we've already touched upon that.
Yeah,
If we do that again, I think we should wait a little while.
That's fair.
But when it comes to again, like what you were saying, like we should be able to go against a tyrant government. They'll keep it at the status quo.
Is our government a tyrant?
I mean, I think so. I think that it's ruled by a very rich elite class. I mean, of course, I think it
absolutely.
Is. Yeah,
absolutely, it's a fucking tyrant.
They keep it on the DL. I mean, there are good things with that. There are bad things about it. Our government's a mafia, 100%. They tax us like absolutely no one's business. I mean,
it's like I've said this before, but it's basically an oligarchy where you have a group of people ruling.
Yeah, 100%.
Not one person. It's not a monarchy. We don't have a king. No. Donald Trump isn't the king of the government, but you have an oligarchy. And the oligarchy can be big. Like, it may not be 20 people. You're talking corporations, oil companies. Like, you're talking a lot of people that still make up less than 1%. Ruling and controlling everything.
We talked about this in the kitchen like a couple days ago, and I said, what about a government to where, hey, you get voted in on, like, let's say a state level. So you're a governor. Let's say you're a governor, and your payment for being a governor is you have housing, you get your house, you have all food paid for you, you get all health care you would ever need. You get all the amenities, and not like you live in a slum, but you live a good fucking life, and your family lives a good life, and they get a good education, and you have everything provided. But you get nothing more than that. Nobody can give you money. The second an outside corporation gives you money, we hang you. We fucking hang you.
I'm down with that 100%.
How does that not sound bad, right? So, president, right? Boom. You're set for fucking life. You get voted in as president. You get the best fucking doctors. You get the best fucking.
They get everything they already get.
You get it like
minus getting paid.
You get food, but you never get paid. You never fucking get $1 to fucking spend on some own shit. If you want some Nikes, like you have to go and fucking work and go and get your fucking Nikes because why not?
I heard that. Technically, they are working though, Jesse. I mean, they have to get some sort of compensation.
Their compensation
is the room and board.
That we fucking pay for in the fucking first place.
That's true.
And the fact that your life is fucking set up for forever. And the fact that you're recognized as a president of the United States.
I'm down with that, but there has to be a little leeway with that. And in the essence of, dude, like, how do you expect them to go out and work a normal job and make money? So basically you're saying Donald Trump continue doing what you're doing and be president. That's too much to do.
No, you're set for life. You are set for life.
I see what you're saying.
Once you become president.
But we want to buy shit, Jesse. They want to go out and get a boat. How are they going to do that?
Sorry. Shouldn't have gotten into fucking politics. This is my fucking thing. Sorry. Shouldn't have gotten into fucking politics. Shouldn't have decided that now you make moves that affects millions of people. Now you need to be sacrificial. This is what is bullshit about politics. There is no sacrifice for being a politician. You become a politician, and it is now self-serving. You are a self-serving fucking individual who can lie and fucking scheme and fucking bullshit. We've all fucking seen it from fucking our parents fucking talk about it. Our parents fucking bitch about it. We fucking bitch about it. It's basic. You become a politician, you are a self-serving individual because you became in that position for yourself.
Why do we keep voting them in then?
Because that's the only thing that we fucking have. So why not fucking flip the script and say, hey, become a politician, but you have no fucking money. You give up all money. Give up all money. Everything, society will take care of you as long as society prospers, which gives them that much more reason to make sure that society prospers, not for their own benefit. Hey, you have a house. You have a house. Your children will go to the best fucking schools. You'll have food all fucking day, any food that you want.
Do they get to pick their house, or do we pick it for them?
You could refine it, but it's not like all of a sudden you can start taking money from other people to influence your fucking opinions.
I agree
because
with that. Yeah.
that is outside of constitutional fucking law, which is what we've seen forever, and that is corruption. You in corruption, and the second you see it, guess what we get to do as a people? We get to take you, we get to put you out in front of the obelisk that is the liberal memorial, and we get to string you up from the fucking top. We get to fucking hang the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
And you get to die in front of everybody and be like, hey, this is what happens whenever politicians all of a sudden do things for themselves and not for the people that they were instructed to do constitutionally
why aren't we already doing
for the
that?
fucking people. Because you fucking die and you're a fucking traitor if you all of a sudden say that, oh, man, I'm upset about fucking Hillary Clinton, and man, Donald Trump should really like follow through with some shit with her fucking emails, and yeah, no.
No, you're right.
I went off on a rant.
There's too much corruption. You're 100% right. And
that is bullshit.
We've all known that for a very long time.
There should be a limitation. There should be a limitation on how much you spend on a campaign. You should not have unlimited funds for a campaign because that is corrupt.
So what do you do?
It is a corrupt position of
a
corporation-driven society.
So what do you do? What do you do if you have someone like Donald Trump, who is a self-made billionaire, and he's able to pay for absolutely everything? He's donating his money that he makes from presidency, and he doesn't need any money. So either way, you're going to find it. Either way.
Donald Trump was not some over-the-hump answer to righting the wrong that was society.
I know
he has done nothing structurally to say, hey, let's fix corruption. Because, once again, you have a corrupt politician. He is still, and even though he might fit your values or my values more.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about Donald
guess what?
Trump.
You still have a fucking corrupt politician.
Right.
Who is out for himself, right? If you have not a better example of somebody who's out for himself,
you
have a Donald Trump example.
We don't know Donald Trump. We've never met him.
If Donald Trump would have lost $1 running for presidency, he wouldn't have fucking done it. That is not what he's about. It's a money-driven fucking thing.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Eliminate that.
Something needs to change. You're right.
Get somebody in there who is willing to fucking sacrifice, even though it's not really even really a sacrifice. You still have everything, and society still pays for everything. But now they're in office, and they're like, "Hey, my life is on the line here. If I become corrupt, and an outside corporation pays me money
I understand that.
to make me say some shit that is not for the people, but for a 1%, I fucking die."
And it should.
That is how it fucking should be.
You're right. You're 100% right.
Because we used to fucking.
I mean, you can keep saying this and repeating yourself, but like we're not implementing this.
Yeah, we're not.
So
good luck. Nobody's on board with this.
I'm on board.
Everybody's on board with that. Everybody's on board with that.
But
but it doesn't. You keep saying like these things, like.
You know what you need to do, Jesse? You need to run for.
Yeah.
You need to run for state or for Congress. You need to run for just the House of Missouri, one of the delegate seats that we get in Congress, and you need to run on that. Make that your campaign speech. Exactly what you just said. I guarantee you will get a lot of votes, man.
Yeah, you'd also be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably
you'd die too.
You would go there and you'd go to Congress, and then they'd be like, "Hey, Jesse, you said some cool stuff, man. How'd you get elected?" They watch your videos. And then they start giving you some money, man.
Wouldn't be surprised if I got fucking shot just if we had,
They would give you money
like
first.
a million views. No, we get a million views on this fucking video, and everybody was supportive of what I said. Chances are I'd be shot.
No, not a chance.
Fucking the next day.
Not a chance.
Yeah,
Not
no.
a chance. There's not a chance.
No, because you have positions of power and corruption, which corrupt people.
Well, a million's also
people?
nothing.
No,
that's
it's not.
That's a drop in nothing.
Yeah, that's
okay.
1/4 of
a
the
billion,
Missouri population.
A billion people.
That would be
a billion
intense.
people start to listen to what I have to say.
Yeah, that'd be different.
And saying that, hey, our government's run the wrong way. All of a sudden, oh man, it was weird. Jesse was found with 3 bullet holes in his fucking face, and
he committed
we ruled
suicide.
it a suicide. Yeah.
Shot twice in the dome. Probably killed himself.
Yeah. That's what they do, man. They do some crazy shit.
No, that is how politics should be run.
I agree, man.
It should be and once you're out of office and you no longer have a say in politics and representing the people, sure. All of a sudden, do whatever you want to do with money.
I don't give two shits about what they do afterwards. I like just the plan that you have for while they're there. Who cares about what happens?
Why
afterwards?
are you able to make any more money outside of what is best for the people? That is a literal breeding ground of corruption.
Well, and check this
You have
out.
your corruption
Hold on.
garden.
So
Literally, oh man,
Jesse,
how much like
Jesse.
the people are pissing.
Jesse,
Okay.
just to like broaden your point here and make it more strong and
Sure.
to flex your muscles a little bit. Have you guys heard of the Alicia something Cortez? They call her AOC. She's the 29-year-old bartender in New York, and then she ran for Congress for House Representatives, and she got elected in as a Democrat. She's a Democratic socialist, so just look her up. Just search.
What was her name? Something Cortez?
Yeah, Alicia something Cortez.
Like Eliza Cortez or something? Elisa Cortez?
Something like
that.
Just look up AOC Cortez. But anyways, she came out and she's just a brand new congresswoman. You know, power to her. Nice job. You won it. You were a bartender before you became this. Good job. But anyway, she's coming out with all this insane socialist packages that she wants to implement into America, and she says that we need to do it. She comes out and says that we need to tax, and you would agree with this on her aspect of saying that we should tax anyone who makes over $10 million. The dollar after $10 million, you'll get taxed at 70%.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect. Which has already
Literally
been
perfect.
50s or 60s or 70s. We did that. It was taxed at like 80 or 90% during the Carter administration or something like that. So it's already happened, but then it failed because rich people, blah, blah, blah. But now she came out and said that the world's going to end in 12 years if we don't do something about climate change.
She has no inclination to fucking say anything about that.
She wants to stop all fossil fuels within the next 10 years.
Oh, that's probably a business position is what that is. So look at a corrupt individual.
My question is, how does she go from a bartender to a House representative and all over every news station because she's good looking, she's attractive.
Right. And all of a sudden she knows so much about climate change, and then all of a sudden she's putting a position on climate change. Oh, it sounds like you did a lot of study on fucking climate change while you were fucking slinging your Moscow mules out of your fucking hipster fucking bar.
Yes.
Out in fucking the East Coast. No, that's not how that shit fucking works.
She doesn't even know what the 3 branches of government are. She was like, she posted this video. She's a congresswoman, may I remind you.
That's saying a lot. That's saying a lot.
I'm not even kidding you. I will pull up the video and show you guys. She's like sitting there like doing one of those she was just in a room like talking some stuff, like having her followers watch her, and she was just like telling her about all this new plans that she has. And then I forget how she called it, but like the executive branch, she called it like the presidential branch. And then she goes down and
the executive branch?
Yes, she called it the
the presidential branch.
Yeah, and then the
executive branch.
And then the other 2 branches, I'll show you guys the video when we go outside after the podcast, but it's absolutely hilarious and just it's ridiculous. It's just crazy. You know? Like if we're going to elect someone in like that who comes and she's 29 and she wants, like, the Democrats want to use her as a presidential candidate when she turns 35.
That's insane.
That won't work.
It's not insane.
That won't work.
This chick is blowing up. She's blowing up.
Hold up, sorry.
Absolutely.
And I haven't leaned more on the Democratic side for a lot of fucking things.
I said it was insane, but Donald Trump's president.
Exactly. Did you have Oprah Winfrey talking about running? Whoopi Goldberg. Fucking who else? The Rock. The Rock's talking about running with Oprah Winfrey.
That's insane to me. And like people don't steal people.
I want an individual who is willing to bet their life that they do right for the fucking majority that voted them in. And if they waver in some way, you are no longer for yourself. You are for the whatever fucking population that fucking voted you in, and you're truly a fucking representative of them.
I agree.
And you're out for them.
Right.
The second you stray from that,
I understand. I think
Jesse. Hang you,
fucking
piece of shit.
You've said this like 5 times.
I feel as though it's important, though.
No,
that's where we're at.
That's
what we used to do.
I agree.
It's what we used to do.
Okay, then do that.
Hang those fuckers.
Do that. Then go out and hang that person.
Don't do that.
Hang those fuckers.
No, go out and do that. If you truly feel that way, then be the change.
The second that they fucking do some shit,
be the change that you want to see in the world. Like, you go do that. Be that martyr.
You know,
but you're not self-sacrificing either. I'm not. I'm not gonna go out there and hang that politician. I'm not gonna go out there and put a bullet in their head.
I could watch the majority of fucking politicians fucking die and not feel.
You could watch, but
not
you
a teardrop from my fucking eye.
You could watch, but you could not do it yourself.
Well, I can think of a few.
I think
if you
I can
did it,
think of
if
a few.
you would be willing to do that because you would die.
You're putting me in a bad scenario.
You would,
Johnny.
no. I'm saying, don't say it over the mic.
Oh.
Don't say it over the mic.
Jesse was never seen again.
No. Listen, don't say it over the. I'm just saying, if you were willing to do that, then maybe you should for certain people, but you won't because you're not self-sacrificing either. None of us are, and you know that you would die, and nobody wants to be a martyr. There's a very rare few people in this world, like the monk in Tiananmen Square or whatever, who lit himself on fire. There are very few
protest. You're right.
There are very few people like that actually exist. I highly doubt you're going to have someone who feels so strongly as you do actually man up, go out there, and do the work.
You're right.
But you would, I mean, with a population of 350 million, you would find the people that would do it. That's not a question.
Then why is it not done?
Because, like I said, it goes back to what we said earlier. We're complacent in what we're doing and
Exactly.
what they've given
People
us.
are complacent, and people are not, like you said, people are not self-sacrificing. I'm including myself in this. I may agree with everything you say, but I'm not going to go do it because I don't want to die. Because I don't want to be the martyr. People I then get killed for doing something.
Okay.
Hold on. Eventually, something's going to happen. Eventually, within the next 100 years or 1,000 years or 1,000,000 years, something is going to happen. They're going.
Of course.
I mean,
that's all that can happen.
Well,
is something.
But in regards to the government and the status quo of the United States, if they keep pushing our buttons and keep getting into our privacy and collecting all this data on us and doing all this stuff that we don't like, there's a breaking point. And at that point, whenever there is a revolution, then that is the time that you and I will probably stand up and actually be a part of that aspect in life. But right now, that's not happening. And I'm in agreement with you that now the status quo is the status quo. It's chill. It's all good.
You know how much people were so.
But we're just gonna get more complacent.
So
true.
Can I just put this out there real quick?
Yeah.
People were so heavy on a separation of church and state. Why not a separation of corporation and state? Why not have that separation?
Money.
Oh, because it makes too much money and they're too directly involved.
Hold on. So let me ask you a question.
If you want to think about two entities that should be very much separated and ruled one by the people, one by the people through another route.
Yeah, but they won't be. Money.
So, Jesse, let me ask
separation of corporation and state is what I'm calling for tonight then.
Hold on.
If you're hearing this.
Let me ask you a question. And this question comes from a viewer of ours named Carl Adams. He wanted you to kind of speak upon maybe pastors not getting paid any money to be a pastor. What do you
Absolutely not. If you're a pastor, and you're projecting this life statement to say that, oh, a pastor is telling you how to live your life. Thank you, Carl Adams, by the way. If you are a pastor of a church and you drive a nicer car and live in a nicer house than all of the people that give you money, you are a fucking piece of shit. And you should go fucking fuck yourself. Because you are not living in the right context of what living for God is, right?
Of what it should be to be a pastor.
Being self-sacrificing and for other people. Biblically, Jesus gave his life for other people so we could live, right? But you cannot even give up a nicer car to make sure. So basically what I'm saying is, person has to walk to your fucking church to give you, the $10 out of their pocket. They won't even fucking be able to have in savings to, get a car down the line, and yet you're driving a fucking Bentley to your fucking church. You'll be the first one to fucking burn in hell. That is.
So do you think it should be like
if
politicians, right? It should be like politicians.
You tell people to live your life, and they give you money to hear your philosophical, God-given aspect of what life should be, and yet you live so lavishly, and you're a business, and you are strictly fucking business, property, fucking all this shit. To those what was it? What's his name? The televangelist that everybody fucking hated so much.
I don't know his name. I know what you're talking about. I don't know his name. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Those individuals that use religion to make money, which is nearly every one of them, because you notice a pastor, oh, but they need a presence, right?
Think about how many.
They need that presence, right?
I'm gonna piss people off, but think about how many dumb people are out there giving them money.
Yeah.
No,
I
seriously.
wouldn't give you a fucking cent.
No, seriously.
You
If you
fucking
go,
worthless
I've got,
fucking pieces of fucking shit.
Look,
I'm
I'm not-
literally looking in the fucking camera right now. If you are a pastoral fucking presence in a church and you claim Jesus, guess what fucking Jesus had? He had not shit, and he died, and he sacrificed, and he was for the fucking people? No. You were out for your own fucking self. You lying fucking sack of fucking shit. Go fucking fuck yourself. Every fucking pastoral fucking person who's this, oh, I drive my fucking brand new fucking car to the fucking church, and I own the fucking church, and I'll have to fucking pay taxes.
All right, I'm gonna interrupt
Fuck
your
you. Fuck you.
rant here. At
Sorry.
the end of your rant here.
Fuck you. That's for Carl. Hey, to all those pastoral motherfuckers that think that, oh, I can speak well, and I have good verbiage in front of a fucking crowd and can move a crowd emotionally and deceive them. Fuck you. Fuck you for money? No. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Hey, they're entrepreneurs, man.
Yeah, no,
Hey.
they are. Fuck you.
So,
Fuck you.
Johnny, what you got?
all right, so,
God, that makes me angry.
yeah, I realize that, but
Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Carl.
So, why do people go in and give them money then? I got no problem donating to good causes and whatnot. Got no problem with that at all.
It
But what I'm
is-
saying is, if you know let me finish. If you know that your pastor is the one who is got the Bentley and everything, like you said, you know he's one of these people. Why the hell are you giving him money?
He's giving
Why
you
are-
the answers that you want to hear.
Which there's never really any answers. They're just giving you gospel.
I
is
mean,
all they're
that's
doing.
like I said, gonna piss people off, but that's why it's like it's a
Picture
cult.
guaranteed.
It's a cult.
It is a cult. It's a cult up
It truly is,
until
yeah.
you don't agree with it, right? Or I'm sorry, the reverse of that. So it's a cult up until it's not your own thought.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden a religion becomes a cult. The fine line between a religion and a cult
You don't hear that?
is
I did
that
a little bit, yeah.
to people who manipulate this sense of, and they preach Jesus, right? Preach Jesus. Literally preach fucking Jesus. And can sit there and take money and be more well off than the congregation that they stand there
It's a
every Sunday
It's a pyramid scheme.
and read shit that says, be kind to those who you feel you need to be kind to, and treat others as you would wish to be treated, and all this fucking bullshit, which is a general consensus of how everybody would want to live their life. All of a sudden you find, man, that guy's fucking taking money out of fucking pockets. They have their place. It almost makes me wish that hell existed for individuals that are in a pastoral fucking position and just rake in fucking money, don't fucking pay taxes, speak their words, fucking.
I wonder
have-
I wonder what it's like in that church off 135th over there by Talk of the Town in Kansas. You know what church I'm talking about?
If you were truly religious, hold
I
on.
thought you were talking about IHOP there for a second.
No,
I'm
no,
gonna,
not
I'm gonna keep saying this real quick.
No.
If you were fucking truly
No,
religious,
stop it. I'm asking you a
Like
question.
15 times already.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I
Do you
get
know where
heated.
Talk of the
I'm
Town
sorry, I
is?
get
In
heated.
Bonefish Grill, 135th and Metcalf.
Yeah, I don't know the church over there that you're talking about.
Or not 135th and Metcalf. It's 135th and Knoll. And there's just this, it's like the Church of Resurrection or something. It's just this massive, beautiful fucking church, man. It's just like the biggest church I've ever seen in my life. It's like the size of
People
the
can't
Chiefs.
praise Jesus in a little fucking hole in the wall, man.
I know,
People
it's like-
couldn't praise Jesus in fucking
It's the size
in a
of, like-
basement like this.
It's like the size of Arrowhead Stadium, if not bigger.
That's crazy.
And I know. It's insane. I don't think it seats like that many people, but it's that big.
Now that being
and you
said,
can't praise Jesus in a fucking in
hold-
you know
I'm gonna
in
make
another
I'm gonna make a
place.
point here real quick though with that. In the Christian religion, you're supposed to witness to other people. You're supposed to go out and spread the word of God. In a sense, then, building a bigger church, it's marketing. If you're doing good marketing and you're building this bigger area that attracts more people, then in theory you're doing what you're supposed to do by witnessing to more people the power of God or the grace of God.
I agree with that, but you know
because
that
you have the absolute
But
right?
you know
have the
that
absolute truth.
You know that.
So that's why you
No,
keep.
no, hold
No,
on.
no.
I agree with what you're saying, but you know that pastor to that church is making six figures.
Oh no, I'm not talking about the pastor part.
Right.
I already covered this. I already said those people shouldn't be donating to the pastor anyways.
Right.
The pastor
God
shouldn't
just
be taking
blessed
any
him,
money.
right? God is just blessing him with his
I
six
agree.
figures.
That's true. That
I'm
makes
saying,
sense.
I'm just talking about the church specifically.
It makes sense.
And like why there's churches with commercials on TV and shit. That honestly, that goes with the belief of the more people you get to. I'm not like defending it. I'm playing devil's advocate here. I'm seeing the other side of it kind of thing.
Sure.
I understand on a marketing level, like why you have to have that. And that should be, you should want to do that if you're a Christian because you want to get the word out there about the grace of God and people to be saved and people to believe Jesus is their savior and everything else. You want to get that out there. So it makes sense to build a bigger church and to have commercials that cost money that go on TV. That all makes sense and that goes in line with it. The pastor part, no, it doesn't. We agree there. But the bigger church thing, I understand it. I get it.
What are you supposed to be being a pastor? Okay, I'm just gonna answer this. What you're supposed to be as a pastor is a representation of Jesus Christ. The best you can't do it because you are a flawed human being, and even pastors sin. But what you're supposed to do is give a great representation of Jesus Christ. How much money did Jesus Christ ever take from anybody?
Well, no one will know the answer to that.
No, none.
You don't know that.
You don't
No.
know it's none.
Oh, you don't know.
You don't know it's none, Jesse.
No one knows that.
He was literally.
From everything you've read, yeah, sure.
If
you don't
you're
actually
a pastor,
know,
if
though.
you're a pastor, you don't need any money because God will take care of you, right?
Yeah.
Why do you need other fucking people's money to fucking get your fucking cars, get your fucking houses and shit? No, God will take care of you.
You're gonna wake her up.
Get rid of all your money. Get rid of all your money. All you pastors out there, get rid of your Bentleys. Get rid of your fucking cars. Get rid of your fucking properties.
Okay, we've already.
Get rid of-
we're
no,
at, we're
yeah.
at the top of the
No.
hour.
Fuck you.
Yes.
Fuck you.
Hey.
Seriously. Fuck you, pastors.
So-
Every religious fucking pastor that's a Christian-based fucking religion, fuck you. Look at me right now. Fuck you. I don't give a shit. Fuck you.
Hey.
You're a fucking piece of shit. All of them. I'm going to go smoke a fucking cigarette, take
Drink
a
a
fucking
beer.
shot. I don't give a fuck. If you're a pastor,
Hey,
you're
no,
religious.
we're done. Hey, thank you for listening to Talk Junkies. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification for whenever you want to hear Jesse
Fucking
say
piece of
"fuck
shit."
you, pastors."
About 15 times.
If you want to hear that, but at the same time, thanks for listening.
enjoy your tax-free fucking retirement
Hey,
when
you're supposed
everybody
to say
else
that-
actually
you gotta
fucking
say that
works.
ring the bell part and whatnot. And end
Oh,
it.
hey.
But it's all, to all our
Hey.
junkies out there.
Ring the bell. Wait, stay fly. I'm sorry. I fucked it up.
I think I
all-
want
to all our-
Stay fly.
to be a pastor now.
Ring the bell.